welcome back to Our Walk in Christ, and this is our questions and answers session. You can ask your questions at ourwalkinchrist.com/question, or join us on a live stream, 9 o'clock p.m. Eastern Standard Time. You can ask your questions over there, which is where we are recording this one. And I have a few questions. Here is the first one. Some Christians have told me that because I do not follow their ways, that I will go to hell and suffer forever and ever. But how is that possible if suffering is a mental and physical sensation? Once a person is dead, they cannot feel anything because pain, hot, cold, etc. are all physical sensations. If you are not in the body, therefore you cannot feel anything. Okay, that is a great question. And for the answer, it's actually quite surprising because the verses that we learn as we are growing up in the church, or maybe you come to Jesus later, you hear, if you don't accept Jesus, you're just going to go to hell. You die and you go to hell. If you do accept Jesus, you are born again. And we even used the word born again Christian. It's a little bit of a misnomer, though, because all people are born again. Everybody is born again. Everybody is raised up on the last day, no matter if you've accepted Christ or not. Now, the question is, what happens to them? Because in the ultimate end of it all, according to the last page of the Bible, as the Christians would believe it, end of Revelation, the last thing is that God raises up all of those who are in Christ Jesus, and then he passes the old world away. A new world comes. It's perfect, it's sin, and it's a perfect utopia with God as the center forever. And that's very true. But everybody is raised from the dead. It's just that those who are not saved are cast into the lake of fire. But just like Jesus was resurrected and had a real physical body, we will be resurrected and have a real physical body in the afterlife. All right? That physical body can feel sensations. It can feel pain. It can feel emotion. And those people who have not accepted Jesus Christ will be raised up and then cast into hell. So death is not a final, final nothingness. It's not, there's a word for that, and it's on the tip of my tongue. I can't remember what it is. I'll probably remember halfway through. But for this, we're going to look in Revelation chapter 20, picking up in verse 11. Then I saw a white great throne, and him who sat upon it, from whose presence the earth and the heavens fled away, and there was no place found for them. And I saw the dead, the great and the small, standing before the thrones, and the books were opened, and another book was opened, which is the book of life. And the dead were judged according to the things that were written in the books, according to their deeds. The sea gave up their dead which were in it, and death and Hades gave up the dead which were in them. They were judged, every one of them according to their deeds. And death and Hades were thrown into the lake of fire. This is the second death, the lake of fire. And anyone's name who is not found written in the book of life, he was thrown into the lake of fire. So, end times, everybody is resurrected. Those whose names are not in the Lamb's book of life are cast into hell, which is the second death, which is a real physical place. There is real torment. There is real feelings. That is how that answer goes. So, yes, just because you die, nihilism, that was the one I was looking at. Nihilism is the philosophy that when you die, there's nothing left. There's no soul, there's no anything. There is a soul, and our bodies are all resurrected. It's just that those of us who's not in the book of life are cast into hell. Those that are in the book of life, we then go on to a second judgment where we are judged according to our deeds as believers. Everyone in that group goes to heaven. What you've done as a believer will dictate your rewards in heaven. That's how that goes. So there's actually an excellent book on that topic. It is by Erwin Lutzer, and it's called Your Eternal Reward. I think that's the book name. But I'll go ahead and put a link to that in the description down below. Once again, you can ask your questions at ourwalkinchrist.com/question.